Hey guys! Yesterday we talked all about how to use the line tool in Google Drawing. Today I want to explore a couple different ways that we can use the shape tool. So, when we look at all the different tools that we have in Google Drawing, we have our select tool, which we talked a little bit about yesterday. We have our line tool, which we talked about. And right next to our line tool, there is our shape tool. It is this circle with a square shape behind it. When I click on that shape tool, you can see I have a menu of some different types of shapes. So we have shapes, we have arrows, we have callouts, we have equations. So you can use different looking shapes in your picture. I'm going to start out by just using a regular old square. And much like the line tool, in order to add a shape onto my drawing, I'm just going to click and hold it down and then drag it until it looks like what I want it to look like. I know what my shape is going to look like because I can see a blue line that makes up the shape kind of exactly how it's going to be. So once it's where I want it to be, I can let go of my mouse and it will make that shape. And you can see that once I let go, the inside of my shape fills up with a light blue color and the outside of my shape has a thin black border. So if you want to change that, we kind of talked about this yesterday. What you're going to do is make sure that your shape is selected. So there is a blue line all the way around it. Then you're going to go up to the top over here where it says fill color, so that diamond kind of shape with a little drip coming out of it. And this is going to change the inside color. So if I want it to be orange on the inside, that's where I'll do that. And if I want my outside color to be yellow, then I click on the one that's next to that, so like that highlighter pencil button. And if I want my border to be even thicker than it already is, I can change that with the line weight. And I can make it dotted, just like I could make all my lines looking dotted. So that's kind of just how we change the basic look and shape of our shape. If you decide that you really like the way that this shape looks and you say, hey, I want another one of these shapes that look exactly the same, what we can do is we can click on our shape. So once we know that it's selected when there's the blue line around it, and I can go all the way up here. So above our tools to this button that says edit. And then I can see that there's a bunch of different options under edit. There's undo, which we don't want to do because I like that shape. There's redo, which we don't want to do right now. There's cut, which I don't want to do right now either. And there's copy. This is what I want to do. I want to make a copy of that shape. So I'm going to click on the copy button. Then I'm going to go back to that edit button. And underneath copy, it says paste. So I'm going to hit paste. And you'll see that I now have two of the exact same shapes. And I can move them around wherever I want them to go. So I can put them on top of each other, and I can even, if I hit paste again, make a third shape or a fourth shape. You can paste something as many times as you want. And that way we know that we have the same size shape. Okay? If I go back to my shape tool and I want to try out some different ones, so we did a square, maybe I want to do an arrow this time. So I'm going to click on this arrow, this up-facing arrow. Oh. Okay, there we go. I'm going to click on the, oh, my computer's being funny again. I'm going to click on the shape tool. I want to use the up-facing arrow. To add the arrow to my drawing, I'm going to click and drag it, and you can see that I can see where it's going to be based on those blue lines, and I can let go once I'm happy with how it looks. If I click on this middle square, that will make my arrow taller. If I click on one of these side squares, it will make it wider or thinner. So I can really play around with the size of my shape if I'm not super happy with it right away. What's cool about arrows and some of the other shapes too, if you see these, it's kind of hard to see because it's on top of a yellow shape. If you see these little yellow diamonds at a corner or where a line meets, it means that you can move those diamonds around. So if I bring my mouse over one of those diamonds and I click and drag it, that brings the arrow part of my arrow up or down. So I can make it a really tiny arrow, or I can make it a really big arrow. This one almost looks like a tree now. And you can see that this one has one at the corner over there and one at the bottom over here. And if I click on this one at the bottom, that will change the size of the like straight line part of my arrow. So I can make it really thin, or I can move it out and make it thick. I like it thin because it kind of reminds me of a tree. So it's almost like I made a tree shape out of a tool that was just on there. And if I really want it to look like a tree, I can go in and I can change the inside to be green. And maybe I'll even make the outside the same green, and it'll have a solid outside. And now I have this funny tree shape over my yellow rectangles. So we learned how to copy and paste. We learned how to change the size and shape of our shapes. What I want you to do today is play around with the shape tool a little bit more. So there's lots of different ways that we can use all of these different shapes. Maybe you want to have like a math picture, so you can add a division sign, which would be kind of funny. And I can even move my division sign so I can make that middle line really small, or I can make it really big. And we can change the way that it looks so that it really can be anything we want it to be. I want you to try to play around with these and make a picture that is all your own. Try to add a lot of shapes in the same way that we made our pictures yesterday, where it could be either abstract, so it's lots of just lines all over the place that are just kind of exploring how we can use the line tool, or it could be a picture of something. So if you wanted to try to, if you drew a picture with the line tools yesterday, you can try to make a picture of yourself or of a house or of an animal using the shape tool today. And if you feel like it, you can even try to combine the shape tool with the line tool and see what sort of images you can make. I'm super excited to see what you guys come up with. So have a lot of fun creating.